Augustine began to make his influence felt. When Augustine was converted, he'd spent, by the way, 9 years studying Manicheaism. Mani had died, but he was under some of their successor teachers. And so he now is there studying. This young Augustine, who is so immoral, who is so sensual, so absolutely contrary to everything decent and moral, that when H.L. Mencken, who shared much of the same character with Augustine, read the Confessions of Augustine, they said, "Well, Mr. Mencken, what did you think of the Confessions of Augustine?" And he went, "Oh, to have been Augustine. Wicked, sensual old man." Now that was Augustine. In his Confessions, he's telling about all of this. Now, he's converted. The first piece he writes is the refutation of Manicheaism. And he uses most of the arguments of a man who was then very well known in the area called Pelagius. But instead of continuing that way, Augustine begins to ask a question. The question he asks is this: why was I such a rotter? Why did I do such evil things? Why was my life so wicked? Now you know the correct answer, don't you? Because he wanted to. But that was too honest. That made him responsible. So Augustine hunts around to try to find a way by which he can escape from that onus. I try to find a way by which he can deal with this and still come off scot-free. And so what did I say? Why was it? Oh. He found that verse in David which says, "In sin did my mother conceive me." And so he said, coitus is evil. The body is bad. The sinful nature is transferred in the act of coitus. And he now has the philosophy that is going to bring the church into Babylonian captivity from that time until the present. Because he now has found a way by which he can totally contradict the Word of God. God said in Genesis, when he had made man, and gave to him a body, and gave to him with that body appetite for food, for knowledge, for security, for pleasure, for sex, for position and authority, he said of that man with these drives and propensities, "It is good." And Augustine comes along and says, "It is bad." And the church ever since has been saying, "It is bad." God said it's good. I've often asked people, in the Garden of Eden you had two people. They had drives for food, the urge for food, appetite for food, knowledge, security, pleasure, status, sex. And God said it was good. And yet when Satan came, what happened? What was the leverage he used to get 100% of all the people in the world to sin? They didn't have sinful natures. What did they have? They had minds to think. They had emotions to feel. And they had volition to choose. And they thought. And they felt. And they chose against God. And they sinned. 100%. He said that was only two, but still 100%. Well, everybody likes to talk about percentages. 100% of them sinned, and they didn't have fallen natures. All they had was appetites and urges, brains to think, emotions to feel, and volitions to choose. And the consequence of this was, now listen, Augustine extended this. Now what's the next thing that happens? Since the body is bad, since the fallen nature is communicated by coitus, what does that mean?